Molto velocemente, perché la parte iniziale la farà il professor Longhi come introduzione. Benvenuti, e passo subito la parola al professor Longhi, così fa un'introduzione generale come meglio crede.
Porto il benvenuto di tutta l'Università Politecnica delle Marche a questo evento che credo sia molto importante, perché portiamo all'interno dell'università sicuramente degli aspetti scientifici specifici di alcune aree scientifiche collegate al retail e agli aspetti collegati, ma anche una componente importante, un'impresa importante di questo territorio, della Regione Marche, che in 40 anni ha creato un marchio, un'impresa capace di affrontare tutti i mercati, quindi non solo i mercati regionali, nazionali, ma si è offerta ed è attiva in mercati, possiamo dire, globali, comunque mercati molto molto ampi. Questo deve essere un modello, ed è un modello sicuramente per le nostre imprese. Le nostre imprese per continuare ad essere competitive devono fondamentalmente fare due cose, ed è quello che in qualche modo suggerisco sempre loro di fare: investire sulle persone, quindi investire sul capitale umano, e poi cercare di aprire e quindi cercare in qualche modo di offrire prodotti in scenari molto molto più ampi, in quello che viene semplicemente detto cercare di internazionalizzare la propria impresa. Ecco, questo è il segreto che in qualche modo permette ad un'impresa, ad un'azienda di continuare ad essere competitiva e continuare a crescere. Tra questi due aspetti, credo entrambi importanti, sicuramente però il fattore umano, e quindi le persone sono quelle che fanno la differenza. Quindi un'impresa come Grottini sicuramente, anzi sono certo, perché conosco molto bene l'impresa, perché di fatto loro non lo sanno, ma io abito vicino loro, quindi diciamo c'è anche una conoscenza territoriale molto diretta. È un'impresa che ha sempre valorizzato le persone, ha sempre visto nelle persone i propri collaboratori, i propri co-workers, e questo è il segreto, perché è proprio il segreto quello di valorizzare e di coinvolgere nello sviluppo di un'impresa, di un progetto, le persone, soprattutto nel XXI secolo, come questa mattina ci hanno ricordato in una bellissima lezione in questa scuola di economia. Nel XXI secolo non sono più importanti i capitali tangibili come le macchine, come i fabbricati, ma è l'intangibile, cioè la conoscenza, l'aspetto che in qualche modo deve valorizzare lo sviluppo. E sulla conoscenza l'Università Politecnica delle Marche sta cercando di sviluppare quanto di meglio esiste dal punto di vista della ricerca nei diversi settori, e anche cercando di offrire nuove soluzioni, nuovi corsi di laurea per cercare di intercettare il futuro. Noi dobbiamo progettare il futuro, dobbiamo costruire il futuro, dobbiamo in qualche modo immaginare un futuro, e infatti questa settimana questo evento importante di incontro tra università, il mondo intero e l'impresa si fa all'interno di un festival, Your Future Festival, il nostro festival dedicato agli studenti, dedicato a tutti i nostri studenti, per parlare e per incontrare il futuro. Lo facciamo in tanti modi diversi, perché riteniamo che questa è un'idea che ha e che continuo in qualche modo a presentare. Io sono sempre convinto che il futuro è migliore del passato, perché il futuro è ancora tutto da pensare, è ancora tutto da costruire, e quindi si può pensare, soprattutto si può costruire migliore del passato. E su questa convinzione io, insieme a tutti i miei collaboratori, tutti insieme a tutti i docenti di questa università, ci impegniamo quotidianamente per cercare di avere un futuro migliore del passato che abbiamo appena lasciato. Grazie e buon lavoro a tutti.
So what's really unique about Grottini is that they combine execution and design in a way that is both practical and ultimately very creative.
Grottini is the very model of how fixture manufacturers ought to be approaching the market today.
Grottini is innovation. Help us grow through introducing new ideas and create a brand awareness of our product.
They're a very innovative, professional and active company, and I always enjoy meeting them and working with them. They're really a very good example for the store design industry.
Grottini also implements these features, and it allows me to work in harmony with them and really bring out some fantastic shapes, light, and color.
I'm extremely lucky to have had this experience, and it is one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I would like to thank Grottini Retail Environments for an experience that I will remember all of my life and that will help me throughout my career as a whole.
So that was impressive to see that from beginning of the process, concept, right through to manufacturing, Grottini has that ability, which is great. But beyond that, I think more interesting is that they are beginning to think beyond the manufacturing of just a fixture or the store environment, the very narrow vertical that we all tend to think of as the retail experience. But the retail experience isn't only there anymore. It isn't just in store.
I'm really understanding that they're looking at the whole picture, looking beyond just how the fixtures are built and manufactured, but the entire brand experience and how it all comes together.
I visited Grottini's facility in Porto Recanati, Italy for the first time about a year and a half ago, not quite knowing what I would find there. And what I found is a state-of-the-art retail design facility.
For us, it's a very important partner due to the fact that they have a big know-how and that they have their presence worldwide, and when I deliver to them the executive drawings, I just forget about the project. I just go in the shop and see the result of them.
2500 metri quadri di vendita specializzata senza perdere l'identità dell'ipermercato.
We have been working with the Grottini as home center in about 18 years now. So it's been a great evolution from day one, from the very first store. How it all started, you're starting from fixture design, but then it's about retail trends. We find pride in being with Grottini because we know what's happening around the world. We know what is up to date, what are the trends happening. So it's not restricted to finding just retail solutions for merchandising, but then it's more about the whole retail experience itself and collaboration. So that's been a great experience.
Together with Grottini, I can actualize my ideas through a process based on development, improvement, and optimization. Three qualities that are necessary to make the difference between a mediocre and excellent result.
Now, Deloitte & Touche is one of the largest auditing firm in the world. They graded us, or they listed us, that we are the 9th fastest growing retail chain in the world. And our association with Grottini is not 1 year or 2 years, and we can say an historical tie-up with the Grottini since a long time. Because you can see in almost all 50 or 60% of my shopping malls and hypermarkets, the touch of Grottini. And I'm very happy that your touch is also in this shopping mall. And this is a partnership. This is a joint venture. That your success is my success and my success is your success.
Benvenuti. Io pensavo che insieme al nostro team che questa potesse essere la migliore delle presentazioni, con le parole dei nostri clienti e dei nostri più stretti amici e collaboratori. Ringrazio il professor Longhi anche per l'apertura e per l'introduzione fatta nel merito dell'università e del tessuto economico su cui noi operiamo. Bene, io ho il piacere e l'onore di accogliervi in questa sede e grazie ancora all'eccezionale disponibilità della squadra dell'Università Politecnica delle Marche, come ho già detto il rettore professor Longhi e il prorettor Gianluca Gregori e il loro staff. Passerò poi la parola al professor Andrea Perna, che è qui con noi e che è appunto dell'Università Politecnica delle Marche, ma anche all'Università di Uppsala in Svezia. Ora, diciamo che abbiamo avuto anche l'assistenza di molti bravi collaboratori per organizzare questo incontro, tra cui vorrei anche menzionare Cananero come agenzia di comunicazione che ormai ci assiste da diverso tempo, quindi un abbraccio sincero agli amici Gilberto e Massimo, nonché il professor Frontoni che cura appunto le iniziative che noi abbiamo insieme all'Università di Ancona con la facoltà di ingegneria, e anche a Valerio che lo assiste quotidianamente e che veramente ha dato tutto se stesso insieme al resto della famiglia Grottini. Bene, visto che siamo nel momento iniziale di questo piccolo evento, però permettetemi anche di ricordare anche una figura importante che è quella del professor Foix. Questa aula è intitolata al professor Foix. Ho avuto il privilegio sia io che il professor Gregori di essere un suo allievo e lo ricordo non con nostalgia ma veramente con tanto affetto. Se oggi Foix fosse ancora con noi avrebbe detto, giustificando, che piccolo è bello, perché questo è un esempio del piccolo, come la nostra azienda, che pare funzioni. E permettetemi anche di ringraziare da chi è venuto da molto lontano, che ha affrontato un viaggio anche molto lungo per essere qui anche sole poche ore, e quindi a nome della Grottini voglio ringraziare degli amici, non sono solamente dei clienti o coloro con cui condividiamo delle esperienze commerciali, e tra cui questi voglio menzionare nell'ordine di distanza, non di importanza, Berman Law, che è venuto da Hong Kong, e Tony Wang da Taiwan, e il signor Ashraf Ali insieme alla sua consorte da Abu Dhabi, ma voglio anche menzionare che la famiglia Ali sono originari dell'India, del Kerala, e Nishad, Majid Shabu e il figlio Fawaz, che sono appunto parte della loro famiglia e del gruppo di collaborazione e di lavoro del gruppo EMCHE. Voglio anche ricordare i nostri amici che sono venuti dagli Stati Uniti, come Ulrich Feigenbaum, Marjorie Wu, Richard Caden, direi anche Vincent Reilly, appena arrivato 2 ore fa, James Damian, Joe Baer, e spero di non dimenticarmi alcun altro perché ormai il gruppo americano è abbastanza consistente. E un ringraziamento anche a Jesus Martin Caro dalla Spagna, da Madrid, Toledo, e Vasilis Michelides da Limassol, Cipro, John Ryan e Jacqueline che sono arrivati da Londra, e Ulrich Spaan, che poi è bene dire parla anche italiano, da Düsseldorf. Bene, grazie anche agli italiani che sono arrivati oggi. Un particolare pensiero va anche agli studenti, forse pochi ma che ci sono, che sono venuti a trovarci oggi qua, e lo faccio con sincero interesse. Ho postato questa slide con reale intenzione, perché tra l'altro io mi onoro di far parte non solo da ex laureato dell'Università di Ancona e dalla Facoltà di Economia e Commercio, ma faccio parte anche di un advisory board presso un college americano di New York che è l'LIM College, grazie all'introduzione di Eric, e veramente abbiamo interesse e amore per gli studenti e vorremmo che loro avessero questo credito da spendere da parte nostra, ma anche una fiducia in questo futuro che c'è e che va coltivato. E sono emozionato oggi anche perché, lo dicevo prima, ho un mio collega di corso qua con me, me lo devi presentare, me lo devi permettere Gianluca, un mio collega di corso universitario con cui abbiamo condiviso lo studio e che oggi è diventato sostanzialmente il boss dell'Università di Economia. È inutile che si agita, la realtà è questa. Sono veramente emozionato e molto contento. Direi che l'augurio sia per Gianluca traguardi anche superiori a quelli che ha già raggiunto, perché lo merita appieno. Oltre a questo vorrei ricordare anche un mentore, qualcuno che veramente mi ha indirizzato sulla strada giusta, dove mi trovo oggi, che è il professor Valeriano Balloni, al quale va il mio pensiero e con cui, diciamo, posso dire abbia dato un forte contributo all'emancipazione dalla facoltà di economia di Ancona e all'ulteriore sviluppo dell'ISTAO, che è l'Istituto Adriano Olivetti, che ha sede qui in Ancona. Spesso ci dimentichiamo di queste nostre passate esperienze, ma sono ancora vive e sono molto forti. Abbiamo parlato, prima il professor Longhi parlava di un futuro interessante, un futuro nuovo. Quando mi laureai parlavamo di esportazione, di commercio internazionale. Oggi stiamo andando oltre. Questa slide, questa immagine parla chiaro. Il futuro non è tanto nell'export delle merci, che comunque sarà, ma soprattutto è trasmissione. Il futuro è dato dalla tecnologia, che ci consentirà di lavorare meglio e in ambienti che sono puliti e più dinamici di quelli che abbiamo conosciuti. Quindi conoscerci meglio è anche parte di questo tema che abbiamo voluto dare all'incontro, ed fa parte di questo presente futuro. Ovviamente, se mi permettete ancora un minuto di ringraziamenti, va sicuramente alla mia famiglia, ai miei genitori, ai miei fratelli, a mia figlia, che oggi non è potuta venire, ma ho mio figlio qua presente, perché credo che questa è un'ulteriore dimostrazione che i valori familiari, quando ci sono e vengono nutriti, portano a un reale contributo di valore. Quindi auguro lo stesso bene e lo stesso successo per tutti coloro che intraprendono queste esperienze. E parliamo della famiglia Grottini, perché è la famiglia Grottini che oggi celebra 40 anni di attività, e per almeno la metà ho avuto l'onore di essere partecipe di questo sviluppo e di questa crescita, sempre risiedendo all'estero, prima in Gran Bretagna, poi negli Stati Uniti, ma sempre ben inserito nella comunità locale, perché mi considero marchigiano, sono orgoglioso di esserlo e penso che essere italiani, ma essendo marchigiani, sia qualche vantaggio. Poi è un mio pensiero personale. Bene, sarò molto breve nel concludere. Diciamo che Pietro e Mirella hanno interpretato, questi oggi sono i nostri collaboratori, ma Pietro e Mirella hanno interpretato il ruolo di imprenditori, ma con il merito di essere prima di tutto genitori, padri e madri di famiglia, e di essere amici. Cioè non è facile per condividere il tempo tra lavoro e rapporti personali, ma è estremamente importante. Direi che condurre un'azienda oggi è come navigare. L'azienda è come una nave, non può stazionare in acque tranquille. La nave è costruita per navigare, quindi è importante conoscere le carte di navigazione, interpretare gli eventi esogeni, esterni all'azienda, ma il compito principale dell'imprenditore è quello di saper scegliere le sue risorse umane, l'equipaggio. E credo che questo sia il loro più grosso merito, il loro più grande contributo, e che lo stanno facendo anche oggi tutti i giorni, quello di scegliersi le risorse umane per capacità acquisite, ma soprattutto per capacità ancora latenti, per quello che possono sviluppare. Credo che siamo una delle aziende con l'età media più giovane che ci possa essere in un'azienda del nostro settore. E questo dà questa dimostrazione, questa certificazione che nel futuro abbiamo creduto sin dall'inizio. Inoltre un'altra dote importante, e io credo che sia stata ereditata dalla mentalità sportiva di Pietro e poi trasmessa ai figli, che è quella della mentalità che partì dalle corse, dall'esperienza sportiva personale di Pietro, alla volontà di creare sfide ambiziose come quella a quel tempo della squadra corse su campionati Superbike, e oggi, ancora oggi, siamo sponsor di diverse attività sportive, tra cui il mezzofondo e ciclismo. Ma questo perché? Perché Nel valore sportivo ci sono sacrificio, allenamento, perseveranza, durata, generosità, lealtà e queste sono cose che vengono condivise tranquillamente anche nell'ambiente di lavoro, nell'ambiente sociale. Credo che il travaso o comunque l'interazione tra questi mondi sulla base di questi valori sia estremamente significativo. Per chi ci è venuto a trovare da lontano forse non ha una cognizione di quelle che sono le Marche. Oggi il tempo fuori è veramente, non ci dà una mano, però le Marche sono veramente un posto meraviglioso. La natura, che è molto bella e molto, molto interessante, ha dato anche un'impronta al carattere dei marchigiani e dobbiamo dire che già abbiamo avuto marchigiani famosi, abbiamo avuto compositori come Rossini, cantanti come Beniamino Gigli, abbiamo avuto poeti come Leopardi, Raffaello come spirito rinascimentale, quello spirito rinascimentale di cui oggi si parla ancora molto, Leopardi come filosofo, e poi diremo anche sul campo industriale, senza citare gli industriali più recenti alla nostra storia perché faremo torto a qualcuno a non ricordarlo, però sicuramente Enrico Mattei, che è stato un elemento cardine dell'orgoglio e del risveglio nazionale dell'economia italiana. Quindi nel mondo si può e si deve essere orgogliosi di dire che apparteniamo a questo territorio, che è appunto fatto di tanta splendida umanità prima che professionalità. Bene, io avrei concluso questa mia introduzione, però per gli ospiti che sono sempre venuti da più lontano farei partire una presentazione, se mi puoi anche abbattere le luci, è una presentazione resa disponibile dal Ministero delle Attività Economiche in Italia, che in questi ultimi mesi io mi porto dietro per far conoscere all'estero che l'Italia non è solamente un paese di poeti, santi, navigatori, che comunque è sempre una gran cosa, ma facciamo anche delle cose egregie e all'avanguardia a livello internazionale. Possiamo far partire il... Lascio la parola al professor Pernan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea Perna, very glad to be here, and thanks for having invited me here. I would like to start with welcome to Grottini family, and I think that we have to today talk about a very interesting topic that is retailing industry, and so I wish also all the best for the future and for the next challenges. Why challenges? Because we are talking about a very tough sector. Before to tell you a little bit about our research initiatives in this faculty concerning the study of retailing industry, I would just like to tell you something about me. I'm 35, I'm a researcher here in industrial marketing. I got a position in 2012 in this university as assistant professor in marketing. And at the same time I got a position at Uppsala University in Sweden. And my main research topic is related to the study of new business development, innovation in the business networks, as well as studies regarding the application of customer relationship management strategies, which is my very, very initial research interest. What I would like to do is that give you some insight concerning this sector, retailing. I will not go through the data concerning how are the trends, because we have very important people here who will give us an outlook concerning the global trends. But just let me say something concerning what we do here in this faculty about the study of retailing. So first, we are a research group composed by seniors and young researchers. And if I remember correctly, we started looking at the sector dynamics within the sector of retailing since 10-15 years ago. So it is a very long time that we started to study dynamics concerning retailing industry. And I would like to highlight that it has been possible to study the sector because we have a strong connections to the market region entrepreneurial ground, as well as with many other Italian firms. So we are very lucky because we started connecting to the companies, and then we can, of course, offer insights which are not only theoretical, but also practical. Of course, nowadays, the thing is that we all have to shift our attention to main important processes along the supply chain. It means that some time ago, the very important focus of companies working in the sector was oriented to analyze how to make the customer always and always satisfied. So a lot of work has been done in order to develop, let's say, customer satisfaction strategies. But what we have realized, it is probably not enough. So we should try to also connect or being connected much more with manufacturers. So I think that one of the best important or most important thing to do right now is to be connected, starting relate even more with manufacturers. So we see that if we took the perspective of the retail company, we should be able to work in both the directions, down and up along the supply chain. And the connections with manufacturers can be very, very important for, I think, a simple reason, because this cooperation can improve the effectiveness of all the processes. So this is something that has to be taken from a very broad perspective, and this means that the next challenge for we academics and for companies and practitioners will be to come up with interesting models regarding this connection, manufacturing and retailing industry. By working together as partners, producers and retailers, of course, could provide the greatest value to the final customer. So basically, one thing that is very important to stress is that trying to satisfy the customer more and more means to be able to be already have a structure internally which is very much interesting then also to study for us. So this connection still is missing. So one important finding of our research is make this connection much stronger. One way of doing this, it would be to relate to the new technologies that we have available, and this means to invest in this direction, giving to retailers much more opportunities to develop important infrastructures with their suppliers and with the manufacturers. Now I will turn briefly to what we are going to present at the Italian Worldwide Exhibition Expo 2015. We have been working on two different directions. The first one is related to this important study we have carried out concerning food consumption. We have analyzed a lot of data concerning the trends of the food consumption, and what we realized is that the consumer more and more is very willing to buy typical products. And this means that we should be able to structure a very strong brand strategies in this direction. So we think that to push the demand and in order to make much more, let's say, profit out of our marketing activities, we could do something like that. So the link between brand and typical products is something very, very interesting, promising, and many directions and studies has to go in this direction. In addition to this, we can say that also brand can enhance what is called like consumer perception of the product quality. So basically, if you try to structure this, probably the consumer awareness will be much more increased in this respect. And so, again, probably more profit could come to the company. The other important project that also we are going to present in Milan, it is something related to the adoption of eco-sustainable initiatives. So we know all that the green strategies, green projects, green initiatives have to be continuously implemented by companies. Being green means, again, to be able to reinforce our brand awareness outside the company. And to start with these initiatives, of course, it is necessary to adopt, again, a broad perspective. So just not focus on like different aspects related to the green strategy, but try to come up with a more broad and complex design. In this way, you can embrace all the aspects related to the green strategy, and probably you can be more effective once you have to deliver out value to our customers. So, I would like to not get you bored with this presentation. I'm trying just to finish with other two aspects. The first is that one important goal, of course, for business actors operating within the retail industry would be the creation of very strong connections with and synergies along the supply chain. I think and I believe really in this kind of strategy that you as retailers should adopt. In addition, what I would like also to spread with you again is that if we need more studies and more information concerning trends and concerning visions, what is very important, and we have this in place in Marca region, is this connection with private and public organizations. So we will always take a very, very close look at how can we continue collaborating with companies. So I'm pretty lucky because in this region, it is just not to stand that we are market region, but this ground is very fertile. And we have, as Polytechnic University of Marche, very, very important and strong connection to this. So if somebody says that our research quality is good or something like that, it is many times because of the collaboration that we have with the private companies and other public organizations. So matching the empirical side with the theoretical one, it is possible only if we continue working very, very close to the companies. So thank you for your attention a lot.
Lascio la parola al professor Tirelli che farà una sua presentazione proprio sul settore della retail food italiano.
Grazie. Io cercherò di illustrare alcuni aspetti di quella che potremmo chiamare una rapida evoluzione della distribuzione dei prodotti di largo consumo. Non mi piace la parola rivoluzione commerciale perché di rivoluzioni se ne vedono molto poche. Ci auguriamo viceversa che vi sia una rapida evoluzione qualora in Europa si ritorni ad apprezzare il mercato, le sue regole, cercando di svincolarle ulteriormente da tutti quelli che sono i vincoli che impediscono i guadagni di produttività che questo settore tendenzialmente apporta a una società moderna, così come è avvenuto in passato. Perché il mio intervento vuole essere una introduzione agli interventi successivi che si dedicheranno ad altri settori dove l'impegno nello store design, l'impegno nell'estetica è molto più accentuato, in quanto, come tutti sanno, il potere d'acquisto che è stato liberato dalle esigenze di primaria importanza, quindi quelle che attengono alla vita quotidiana, ha consentito di sviluppare settori come l'elettronica di massa, come il fashion, come tutto quel genere di acquisti e di consumi che caratterizzano la nostra vita. Quindi vorrei presentarvi solo alcuni concetti molto semplici, menzionando 3 delle tante innovazioni che impatteranno sulla distribuzione del largo consumo. La prima è sicuramente quella che piano piano porta alla crisi delle grandi superfici che dovranno operare, parlo degli ipermercati, dei negozi di grandi dimensioni, che dovranno operare una revisione delle loro strategie, in quanto molti settori sono ormai perduti per quello che è l'approccio del general merchandising, vale a dire tutto sotto lo stesso tetto, l'approccio introdotto soprattutto dalla distribuzione francese e adottato anche nel nostro paese e in altri paesi europei come forma principale di distribuzione di beni di largo consumo. Le global brand sono mature, non richiedono più di essere vendute esclusivamente nei supermercati. Tutti i prodotti che riguardano il toiletries e la bellezza, la cura della persona saranno appannaggio di specifici negozi che stanno crescendo in tutta Europa. L'elettronica di consumo è un altro comparto che è stato conquistato da super specialisti. Libri e giornali vivono una crisi profonda, se non definitiva, così come tutto ciò che noi chiamiamo genericamente bazar, vale a dire la parte di accessori e di articoli della vita quotidiana, nonché il settore dell'abbigliamento che vede proliferare all'interno di una rivoluzione dei prezzi generata dalla globalizzazione dei settori produttivi, vede proliferare le insegne e i punti di vendita all'interno dei centri commerciali. Viceversa, la grande distribuzione dovrà orientarsi verso nuove forme distributive che apporteranno dei grossi risparmi alle nostre famiglie, i carburanti, la farmacia, e andando invece nel settore della specializzazione, l'alimentazione gastronomica sempre più varia e sempre più qualificata dal punto di vista salutista, il prodotto freschissimo come l'ortofrutta, il catering, il banqueting, vale a dire i servizi resi alle famiglie presso le loro abitazioni, i vini e liquori, il kitchenware, ad esempio, cioè tutto l'accessorio per la cucina che diventa sempre più hobbistica. Trascuro tutti gli aspetti sociologici che a voi sono ben chiari, visto il proliferare di Masterchef e altri opinion maker. La prima rivoluzione che sta avendo luogo in Spagna e in Francia è l'entrata dei cosiddetti price shopper, cioè dei nuovi discounter, molto più agguerriti dei discount che conosciamo oggi, e in particolare della forma dei warehouse club, una formula inventata negli Stati Uniti e che è sbarcata a Siviglia lo scorso anno, che si riprodurrà a Madrid e che inizierà la propria avventura francese nella prossima primavera. Che cos'è Costco, vale a dire l'azienda più famosa dei warehouse club? Beh, è un luogo dove la funzionalità fa premio su tutti i servizi offerti per la vendita dei beni di largo consumo. Parliamo di realtà che hanno oltre 600 punti di vendita nel mondo e che fatturano 110 miliardi di dollari e che si propongono di vendere prodotti che sono divenuti ormai banali, che sono stati banalizzati, che non hanno bisogno di servizio perché la pubblicità li rende noti a tutti e che possono essere venduti in questo modo, vale a dire un grande magazzino industriale che può praticare, grazie ai risparmi di costi, dei prezzi assolutamente imbattibili. Quello che vedete è la cella dei prodotti surgelati, che apparentemente assomiglia a quella di un ipermercato, ma che in realtà è totalmente diversa perché viene servita dal retro attraverso l'esposizione di semplici pallet, quindi il prodotto che esce dallo stabilimento e che viene posto immediatamente sul punto di vendita senza avere un circuito di intermediazione e di distribuzione. Ma per parlare di beni che per noi risulta quasi impossibile pensare che siano venduti in questi termini, parliamo di quello che è un reparto di grande successo che esiste all'interno di tutti i Costco e che sono le gioiellerie, che oggi fanno competizione persino a Tiffany. Quindi voi sentirete parlare del lusso, sentirete parlare di fashion, di moda, ma teniamo sempre presente che per democratizzare i consumi, per democratizzare il fashion, occorre recuperare potere d'acquisto da altre parti, soprattutto all'interno di una economia come quella europea e quella italiana in particolare, che sta vivendo non una recessione, ma una stagnazione prolungata, una depressione più lunga e più grave probabilmente di quella degli anni 30. Vi sono modalità tali per cui si può vendere il gardening e si può attaccare un settore peraltro molto profittevole come quello dei fioristi, come quello dei negozi specializzati, e si può arrivare quindi a vendere anche prodotti per la bellezza e per la salute. La seconda rivoluzione in termini commerciali o rapida evoluzione molto interessante è quella inaspettata di catene come questa francese, Grand Frais, vale a dire dei grandi specialisti in un campo che sembrava non avere più nulla da dire, vale a dire il freschissimo, l'ortofrutta, che viene esibita da questa catena che ha mostrato una crescita rapidissima, perché in 8 anni ha messo in crisi Carrefour, Auchan, eccetera, e sta circondando Parigi, raggiungendo 200 unità, e che ci offre un nuovo modo di intendere in termini moderni l'assortimento di ortofrutta. Probabilmente se riusciamo a spegnere un po' le luci migliora la visione. Questo vuol dire informazione, questo vuol dire preparare il terreno a una enorme massa di prodotti che provengono dagli altri emisferi, da zone tropicali che oggi chiamiamo esotici, ma che esotici non sono perché sono i prodotti di largo consumo dei paesi che li producono. Ecco, questo lo vedete, quindi l'idea che domani, ad esempio, le cipolle o gli agli non si venderanno più come si vendono oggi, perché avremo anche in questo caso un enorme incremento della varietà, perché gli agli non sarà più l'aglio, ma saranno almeno 10 tipi diversi a seconda di quelle che sono le esigenze vere o presunte di un nuovo modo di cucinare, zucche e così via. Bene, la terza rivoluzione questa ancora più impattante, è quella che in Francia è nata attraverso l'idea di utilizzare il web in una forma effettivamente efficiente, vale a dire la concezione, l'ideazione e l'implementazione dei cosiddetti drive o chrono drive. Questa è una formula di Auchan. È una rivoluzione nel rapporto fra consumatore e punto di vendita, perché il consumatore attraverso internet o una qualsiasi applicazione disponibile dal telefonino all'iPad eccetera può inviare in anticipo la propria richiesta, dando un vantaggio enorme al distributore, confrontando i prezzi, avendo una chiara percezione dei prezzi, cosa che oggi non gli è consentita, pagare in anticipo attraverso nuove forme di monetica e accedere ai magazzini robotizzati che daranno un grande servizio in termini di velocità, nel senso che formule come queste consentiranno di mettere direttamente la spesa nel bagagliaio delle auto. Già oggi in Francia avviene su basi davvero interessanti, perché il solo Leclerc ha un fatturato di 5 miliardi di euro attraverso questo canale, e cambiando totalmente il famoso rapporto fra il cliente consumatore e la marca, perché la produzione seriale di marche che conosciamo da un secolo, come la pasta Barilla, la Nutella, eccetera, non ha più bisogno di ambientazioni, essendo conosciutissime ed essendo giudicabili sulla base di quello che è la convenienza nel loro acquisto. Cosa molto diversa per tutto il mondo che verrà esplorato successivamente, dove entra una componente di sensorialità, vale a dire di giudizio che si forma e che si esprime proprio nel punto di vendita. Quindi il retail del futuro, sicuramente nei paesi più aperti come gli Stati Uniti e probabilmente i paesi del Far East, nei paesi neocapitalisti, dove le regole sono saltate rispetto a prima, e forse molto più lentamente nell'Europa lenta, burocratica, statalista, il commercio del futuro si baserà su questa semplice regola: essere in ogni luogo, in ogni momento, e a seconda di quelle che sono le esigenze estemporanee di ciascun individuo, di noi tutti, essere in grado di dare una risposta che sia in certi casi altamente efficiente, in certi casi altamente affascinante. Quali sono le tre grandi, scusate, sono uscito e concludo, quali sono le tre grandi direttrici? Bene, il design che si fa, che deve comporre quelli che sono i bisogni del consumatore, o meglio del cliente, del retailer, il disegno degli spazi, perché ogni spazio deve avere un significato simbolico o un significato funzionale, la relazione in certi casi fra la marca e il punto di vendita, senza ambiguità, per cui certamente i negozi monomarca avranno un grande futuro se interpreteranno correttamente quella che è la loro filosofia di base e non saranno semplicemente, come molto spesso capita oggi, degli showroom, vale a dire una sorta di mini museo dove la marca celebra se stessa. Soprattutto importante sarà la digitalizzazione, quindi la possibilità di essere in contatto perenne, di poter avere una relazione interattiva non fastidiosa, non perturbante, e su questo gli studi sono aperti, perché tutte quelle che oggi vediamo sono delle forme estremamente primitive. Io le considero armi paragonabili alla clava rispetto a ciò che invece lo sviluppo tecnologico, scientifico e soprattutto creativo metterà a disposizione fra qualche anno, vale a dire delle applicazioni che effettivamente entreranno in quello che è la nostra gestualità, in quello che è la nostra psicologia, la nostra predisposizione a esplorare e ad acquistare, e anche la monetizzazione, vale a dire la monetizzazione nel senso di operare pagamenti efficienti, risparmio di costi, ma soprattutto i sistemi di incentivazione che ancora oggi hanno la caratteristica della grande primitività, perché l'orgia di promozioni di prezzo destinate a tutti, non mirate, sostanzialmente inefficienti, perché le quote di mercato dei grandi promoter non sono mai cambiate, lasceranno uno spazio invece a una interpretazione più sofisticata della relazione tra cliente, marca e prezzo, per trovare quell'equilibrio dinamico e assolutamente temporaneo che costituisce l'essenza stessa di un mercato libero da vincoli, aperto e soprattutto destinato ad accettare continuamente quel carico innovativo che è alla base dello sviluppo della nostra società dei consumi, ma anche della nostra società civile. Grazie.
Grazie professor Tirelli, che è sempre molto accurato e molto specializzato in queste osservazioni. Professor Feigenbaum dall'Università della LIM di New York, la sua presentazione. You can also introduce yourself.
Buongiorno. Hi. Pronunciation not so good. I'm delighted to be here today. Before I begin, I would like to thank the Grottini family. I would like to thank Nicola Eveli, and I would like to thank the university for having me here today. The topic of the day is the future of retail. And the future of retail, my friends, is now. The future of retail is change. I'm sorry, we kind of, could you back it up? So sorry. Okay, thank you very much. The future of retail is change, from globalization to branded environments, from social media to technology. Retail continues on a grand evolution, and that evolution is more relevant today than ever before. The definition of fashion is change. Today, the retail industry is changing faster than ever before. The rate of change is exponential, and those who embrace change not only will survive, they will prosper. How did we get here? How did we get here with all of this change? Well, it began with a store. Then there were more stores, and then even more stores. The burden of fulfillment was always on the consumer. The consumer did all of the work. Today, the burden of fulfillment is on the shoulders of the retailer. The consumer knows what they want, when they want it, and where they want it. We used to get our fashion information and our product information from one another. And then along came the internet. And we discovered online shopping. Online shopping increased dramatically, as you all know. And interpersonal exchanges became less frequent. And then we were introduced to the smartphone, and we had stores in our back pockets. And now we're totally connected. Where did the people go? Where did the people go? Shopping is now desktop to doorstep without leaving the comfort of home. Store visits are no longer necessary. Brick and mortar store visits dropped dramatically, very dramatically, from 2010 until today. And there are a lot of stores. Social interactions diminished even further. The only human interaction that we have is with the delivery man, and even that is changing. How do we get customers to return to the stores? And how do we differentiate our store from all the other stores? How will brick and mortar remain relevant? How will brick and mortar survive in a digital world? Whoop, so sorry. So sorry, back. How will brick and mortar survive in a digital world? Retailers must provide a reason for customers to come back into the stores. We must bring back, and this is as important as anything else, we must bring back the human touch. Retail's biggest challenge today is not the economy. Retail's biggest challenge today is not sameness, although many CEOs will tell you that all the stores look alike. Retail's biggest challenge today is not technology. Retail's biggest challenge today is our response to technology. Retail's biggest challenge today is the seamless integration of technology into the store environment. Technology isn't the message. Technology supports the message. Jumps around, doesn't it? Okay, the focus should not be technology. The focus, and I think this is very important, the focus should be the beauty of the store environment. The physical store is our largest capital. It's the most important asset. It's the best place to create customer relationships. The best place to create customer relationships is in the store environment. Technology shouldn't replace customer service. It should support customer service from quality, efficiency, service, and reliability. The future of retail is connectivity, from QR codes to beacon technology, from social media to branded environments. Sales equal digital engagement times human interaction. Before a customer even leaves home, 72% of young customers research their options online before visiting a store. Outside the store, 24/7 advertisement, shoppable windows or displays that operate well when the store is closed. When they arrive at the store, 42% of companies will send coupons based on customers' location within the store, and this is beacon technology. Omnichannel, 66% of customers would like to see digital promotions tied into brick and mortar. 22% of customers spend more if digital is involved in the process. However, 85% of customers buy more when helped by a knowledgeable salesperson. Bring back the human touch. Sales equal digital engagement times human interaction. Bring the best of online into your store, and that is what the store of the future must do. Bring the best of online into the physical store environment. The future of retail is customer interactivity, from digital signage to shelf talkers, from social media to glass facades. There's a trend in retail architecture today. A walk down New York's Fifth Avenue will demonstrate that. Glass facades. The store is a tool of communication. Glass facades allows you to begin the dialogue when the customer is still across the street. The store is a tool of communication. Virtual clothing racks. Again, the store is a tool of communication. Continue the dialogue within the store, and they will stop, they will look, and they will buy. Digital signage, again, the store is a tool of communication. The walls of your store should sing. The walls of your store should be a means of engagement. Shelf talkers, the store, again, a tool of communication. Provide product information. Retailers want to do more than just sell. They want to teach. They want to teach. Social media. Connect on as many social platforms as possible. From Nordstrom's to Target, stores are identifying product that has been identified or pinned on Pinterest. Selfies. There was a time, if you walked into a store, you were chased out. They called the police. Welcome cameras in your store. Welcome selfies. Engage your customer. Create a relationship with the customer. Welcome them into your store and let them take as many pictures as they would like. The future of retail is comfort, from food to fitting rooms, from community centers to lounges. The future of retail is comfort. Rethink the fitting room. The fitting room is a critical component of the selling floor and the retail strategy. It finalizes the sale. The more they try, the more they buy. 60% conversion rate of customers who use the fitting room. Rethink the fitting room. Use smart mirrors. Use a larger space. Improved lighting for sure. Backdrops to promote selfies once again. Plush surface materials provide a tactile, three-dimensional experience for your customers. Provide comfort and a sense of place. There is fashion in food. Food has taken center stage, as my friend Tirelli most definitely agrees. Food has taken center stage. It's the most democratic product offering. There is fashion in food. Karl Lagerfeld transformed the Grand Palais of Paris into a giant supermarket. Fashion leaders have embraced the compelling allure of food, and food might just save the retail industry. Galeries Lafayette has invested millions in upgrading their food concept. Le Bon Marché has invested millions in upgrading their food concept. The future of retail is customer engagement, storytelling, experiential learning, from social media to interactive mirrors. Retailers want to shatter expectations. When customers cross the threshold of your store, take them to places they've never been before. Excite them, delight them, entice them. Design more than just a store, design an experience. Design an experience. There's a store in New York called Story, and they're very, very innovative. Every month, they totally change out who they are. They totally change out their merchandising. And they look at the store as a monthly magazine publication. So, I say to you, be innovative, think of new ideas, new concepts, new approaches. Rebecca Minkoff partnered with eBay and introduced interactive mirrors into the fitting room. Again, bringing the best of online into the store environment. So, to sum up, add the human touch. That's what's missing. Add the human touch. Customer comfort, think of larger fitting rooms. Aesthetics, focus on the beauty of the store environment. Bring the best of online into your store, from virtual clothing racks to interactive fitting rooms. Curated collections, create a compelling and comprehensive collection of product. Customization. Allow customers to create products that are truly their own. Customization is becoming more and more important today. experiential retailing. Stores are social gathering places. They're centers for knowledge, they're centers for learning, they're centers for information and relaxation. They're social gathering places. The future of retail is analysis of consumer feedback, from analytics and coding to statistics and information. Retail analytics is an art and a science. The art is asking the right questions. The science is the analysis of the responses. Analytics is where retail is going today. The innovation today is not technology. The innovation is what technology allows our customers to do. It provides the customer with greater choice. It provides the customer with more information than ever before. So the right balance, and I love that word balance, the right balance of physical and digital will create a branded environment that is memorable and recognizable. It will create an environment that will bring them back into your store. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. Ricordo anche che siamo in collegamento con l'Università di Ingegneria, dove ci stanno seguendo in streaming, quindi non è che siamo solo noi, e un saluto particolare anche a loro. Ulrich Spaan dell'Istituto di ricerca sul commercio e retail in Germania, nonché anche organizzatore dell'Euroshop, che è la fiera di settore più importante che avviene ogni 3 anni. Benvenuto Ulrich.
Grazie. Buon pomeriggio anche da parte mia. Grazie Nicola anche per aver fatto il commento sul mio italiano già prima, quindi adesso tocca a me anche a dire qualche parola in italiano. La presentazione la farò in inglese però. Prima che inizio vorrei ringraziare la famiglia Grottini, Francesco e anche Nicola per invitarmi qua. Io conosco Grottini da più di 10 anni, abbiamo lavorato insieme e per me è semplicemente un onore di stare qua oggi, non solo perché mi piacciono le marche, mia moglie è marchigiana quindi mi sento quasi a casa, ma anche perché veramente sono molto contento di festeggiare questi 40 anni con voi oggi e anche stasera. Ok, now back to English. It won't be that easy after the 2 presentations before me to tell something new to you because we already heard a lot of things about how the retail sector is going to develop in the future. What I'm now trying to show you or going to show you is some examples of European retail which we see as very progressive and very innovative, where we believe that this could be somehow the future of a retail store. It will be up to your own opinion whether this is really true or not. But for us, I think these are some promising, very promising examples. If we look at retail generally, not only in Europe but all over the world, over the past years we've seen a dramatic change in the whole industry. So e-commerce growth is still very significant in most of the sectors. Double-digit growth year by year by year. That's nothing new, especially in areas like fashion. This is the case. E-commerce markets are far away from being saturated, which means that we expect further growth in the future. The connected consumer, we've heard in Eric's presentation a little bit about that also, requires a completely new approach by the retailers because the consumer nowadays is very well informed when she enters a store, knows a lot about competitive products, about prices, has a very deep insight into the assortments of a retailer because everyone is able to check that at home nowadays. So a retail store needs to take care of that and needs to pay attention that the people working on the store are on the same level. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to sell something. Heavy needs for investments in store concept and technology are one consequence of that. Not every retailer will be able to do that. We know that today, and we've seen many examples already of very traditional retail companies going out of the market, and there will be other ones in the future for sure. Omnichannel and mobile are in the focus of the whole industry, retail industry today. I will show a statistic in the next slide which underlines that. And we have another aspect which is also something we need to look at carefully, which is a rising awareness for sustainability and healthiness, which also, on the consumer side, which also creates new challenges for the retail world. That does not only mean that retailers need to take care of what they are selling, which kind of product they are selling, that this is a sustainable and environmentally friendly product, but also the way stores are constructed, stores are designed, which materials are used, and so on. These things are moving to the focus of the consumer, and the retailers need to communicate that. And I think that's sort of the main challenges which we see right now for the industry. EHI, as a research institute, every 2 years is doing a big survey on technology trends in the German-speaking markets. That's where we are based. We are talking to around 90 CIOs in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, asking them what are the main challenges and topics for you in the coming years. And if I would show you this slide now from a research we've done 6 years ago, it would look completely different. Because topics like omnichannel, mobile, big data, analytics, cloud are topics which until a couple of years ago almost did not exist in the retail industry. So there's a dramatic change on the technological side, which impacts a lot of new challenges on the investment side for the retail companies. So combining online and offline, Eric mentioned that in his presentation already, is one of the most crucial and critical challenges the retail companies have in the future. Bringing the best from online to offline is a huge task, and I'm going to show some examples now which might be a success model for the future. Or now, I'll skip this one. If you want to look at a store without any product anymore, physical product, you simply go there. So Argos in the UK, they have created this new, it's a business model, flagship store model, which is a digital experience where customers are only confronted with the digital world. The store consists of iPads and screens where the over 30,000 products which are in the Argos catalog can be browsed, can be displayed, can be promoted. The store offers the possibility to pick up merchandise which has been ordered at home within 60 seconds in the store, a very fast and convenient thing. And of course there's possible interaction with the sales staff which is there, but you hardly see any physical products anymore. So this could be one way, which would be sort of a showroom way in the future. You don't show the products anymore directly to the consumer. You just show them in a digital way, which can also be done in a very nice and comprehensive way, of course. You have some people in the store which can give a good service, and then you give the customer the possibility to either have the product sent at home or pick it up in the store again, but you don't show the product anymore. Could be that this is the future. We don't know it. So Argos has been very innovative, in our opinion, with that concept, and also it takes a lot of courage to do that. But as far as we see now, it looks quite successful. Click and collect is something which in the UK for a couple of years already has turned out to be very popular. So you order the merchandise at home and you pick it up in the store. This is useful wherever you have a company with a large number of stores, of course, because that gives the consumer the possibility to stop at the store on his way home from work and pick up the product. In other areas, we are not that sure whether it's going to be that successful. So C&A is a fashion retailer. They are trying the same as well. They have created their own click and collect zone, which you've seen down here. It's a zone, an area inside of the store, which is only there for customers which have ordered merchandise online and want to pick it up in the store, or for customers which want to return merchandise in the store. There's fitting rooms which are especially designed for this area, also some screens and tablets. But of course, C&A is a large format retailer. They usually have maybe one store per city and not even everywhere. So this is already a good question whether this is going to be a success or not. The first trials, I would say, are so-so from what we hear. But of course, also in this case, it takes the effort to test and to pilot these things to find out how the consumer reacts. Another example. This is a probably not very well-known company here in Italy. It's a smaller fashion retailer called Ernstings Family, very popular in Germany, low prices, especially for families are the target groups. They have small format stores, which do not allow the creation of big click and collect spaces. So what they are doing is they also offer a click and collect service, but if merchandise is returned to the store, it is not sent back to a warehouse somewhere, but it is checked by the sales people in the store, whether it is still in a good shape, in a good quality, and it is immediately put back on the sales floor and sold in the store, which on the logistical side is a huge advantage because to create the process to take back merchandise in a store, then to send it back to a warehouse, and then maybe to send it back again to another store is also quite complex and complicated. So in this case, the merchandise simply remains in the stores unless it's not damaged or spoiled or something. Another trend which we see is sort of, if we look at pricing inside of the stores, sort of a renaissance of digital price tags. This is mainly because, well, on one side, the technology has evolved, the visibility is better, and so on. But if we look at the omni-channel approach, for example, for a consumer electronics retailer, it's very important to offer the best price on certain products, which also meets the best online price. So for a media market or media world, how it's called here in Italy, it's important to look what prices Amazon is offering, and it's maybe also important to change these prices in the store throughout the day. If you want to do that manually, it's quite complicated. If you can do it on the digital way, it's very easy. That's why MediaMarkt is testing the electronic price labels right now to be more flexible on the pricing side, to be more transparent on the pricing side, which in the end, what I said at the beginning of my presentation is necessary because the consumer, when he enters a MediaMarkt store, knows exactly what the competitive prices of a digital camera, of a TV, or of a refrigerator are. Beacons, just a few words on that. 2 years ago, no one knew what it is. Half a year ago, everyone talked about that in the retail industry. Now, the discussions are already becoming a little less, in my opinion. But beacons are a technology which allow the retailer in a very easy way to interact with the customer when he's in the store, to send little messages, welcome messages, promotional messages, to send little vouchers, for example, for a free coffee or something like that. Very easy to understand for the consumer, not very complex to install for the retailer, and in theory, a quite promising technology. The only thing which we don't know is, in the long term, how is the customer going to react? Because no one wants to get information on the smartphone every 5 minutes in a store unless it's not very useful. So the question is, how careful are retailers in using this technology, and how is the consumer prepared in the end to accept it? It's too early to say whether it's going to be successful or not, but what is for sure, it's a very relatively easy possibility to interact, individually interact with a customer in a retail store. So, we've heard that before as well already. The retail store is entering a new area. Design and technology are merging. On the other hand, many stores are focusing on the traditional forces of a physical store, which is service, which is touch and feel, which is experience. Things the web can't offer in the same way. Of course, the web can also offer experience, and it can also offer service, but it will never be the same thing as in a physical store where you're actually able to touch, to feel, to smell, and also to talk to a real person. New concepts and formats are born. We see over the past years a lot of innovation in terms of store concepts and formats. New things are being born which haven't existed. I will show some examples later on, which also put a lot of pressure on the traditional store formats in many areas. Customization is becoming more and more important. Why? On the web, it's very easy to offer customization. You can configure your own products, you can select your own styles, your own colors. You can basically easily order a product which exactly meets your own preferences. Physical stores should offer the same thing, and they are able to do that, as I will show later on in some examples. And we have another quite interesting trend, which is that pure players, which are 100% online companies, online retailers, are more and more testing the physical world in terms of opening physical stores. Last year there have been many funny rumors about an Amazon store which was supposed to open over the Christmas period in Manhattan. In the end, there was never an Amazon store over Christmas period in Manhattan. But the discussion is there, and we see more and more signs that this also might become a trend, at least, let's say, in the very good locations where there's a lot of traffic and where the online retailers are able to strengthen their brand. This is a sporting goods store in Germany called Sportcheck. Very large stores, and their focus is 100% on experience in the store. So almost every product you can buy there is combined with some experience you can make in the store. I've chosen the example of running shoes. So they have these running labs in the store where you can test your running shoes. On the big screen, which you see there, once you start running, a true environment is visible. For example, in the Munich store, you see the English Garden, and you start running through the English Garden with your shoes. And of course, you have a personal coach there, a professional person which exactly knows how to look at the way how you're running, to see whether the shoes fit or not. And they're offering similar services also in other product areas. For me, also a good example how a physical store can offer on a digital way service which the web is simply not able to offer. Rose Bike Town is a retailer which is selling, as you would suggest by the name, bicycles and also bicycle accessories. In these stores, you are able to 100% configure your own personal bike by choosing material, color, wheels, brakes, and so on. Together with the salespeople in there, of course. Once you have done that, and of course you can also test the bicycles in the stores. Once you have done that, the whole configuration is saved, you can go back home, and in the evening on your iPad you can have a look at it again, double check if this is really what you want, maybe check the colors again or the wheels again, and it also combines the strength of a physical store with the strength of e-commerce and of digital services. Buying an expensive bicycle is maybe not something you are doing without any advice from an expert. And in these stores, they have perfect experts to advise the customers. This is something which does not have anything to do with digital, but and it's also not a completely new store. It already exists for a couple of years, but I just left it in my presentation because it shows a good example of individuality, which is in store design a very important topic. Starbucks, as you know, usually they are running stores which are looking the same all over the world. If you enter a Starbucks store in Shanghai or Moscow or Paris or wherever, usually they look the same, unless you go into one of the flagship stores, which usually embrace the heritage both of the location and also of the city where the store is located. This store is called The Bank. It's in a former bank building in Amsterdam. They have used a lot of materials which are very typical for the Netherlands, like traditional tiles from the city of Delft, like things which have to do with the tradition of the Netherlands being a country of people traveling by the sea, of merchants, and it reflects a lot of tradition of the city of Amsterdam, and has nothing to do with the normal Starbucks design. And there are several other Starbucks examples around the world right now. Just a couple of weeks ago, they opened a really giant flagship store in Seattle, in their hometown, where they have a coffee roastery inside of the store. People can, while they're having their coffee, can watch how the coffee is produced and so on. So a lot of experience which is brought into the Starbucks stores here. Another example, Kochhaus is a very young chain. Chain is exaggerated. They have around 20 stores all over Germany. They are selling food, but not as a supermarket does. They are selling food according to recipes. So everything you see on that table is everything you need just for one dinner. You don't need anything else. Vegetable, herbs, the wine on the sides, usually of the tables. You don't see that here. They have a small refrigerated cabinet where the meat is in, or the fish, and you can select the respective recipe for that. So, especially for single households or small households, this is very convenient because they don't need to go through a whole supermarket to do their shopping for the evening. They just need to take everything which they see on the table here and take it home, and they have their perfect dinner. Very fast growing also in Germany, and as far as we see now, very successful. This is a store which is selling nothing else but muesli. It used to be a 100% online business, mymuesli.com, where you can select the muesli creations they are offering, but you can of course also combine completely individually your own muesli creation by adding all kind of products of ingredients you can possibly imagine. And they have also moved to the physical world, have opened these stores. You see the example down here, where you can order, where you can select the creations they have done, and where you also are able, by using sort of a mix machine, you're also able to create your own muesli inside of the stores. And this is my last example. Cyberport is used to be online consumer goods, electronic goods retailer, sorry. So something comparable to an Amazon, if you look at their electronic part of the assortment. And they have also decided to open flagship stores on the, let's say, most fashionable high streets in Germany, around, and in some shopping centers as well, around 20 or 25 so far. Of course, they are not showing the whole assortment in these stores, but only a selection, which is also rapidly changing. But it strengthens their brand. It offers service. It serves as a click and collect point. So it does many things the online store can't do. And we will see how this is going to develop in the coming years. So that's it so far from my side. Grazie tanto per l'attenzione. And I will pass back to Nicola.
Grazie Ulrich, grazie mille. Lascio in questo gioco di alternanza tra Europa e Nord America, passo il turno a James Damian, che è un mio concittadino ormai, anzi io sono diventato un suo concittadino. James.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to start by saying that indeed this is an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you. And I was very happy to travel a long way on this very important subject matter. But before I start there, I must talk about the importance of vision and leadership. And my hat goes off to the founders of Grottini for their vision, their commitment, and their leadership, and the showcase that they can perpetuate the life of the organization. And now, as it turns 40, congratulations, we are celebrating a new generation of leaders at Grottini. And my hat's off to Francesco, Valerio, and most importantly, my neighbor from Minneapolis, Nicola. And it is because of him that I've grown so close to witness the incredible production, design capability, but more importantly, the character of Grottini. And today I want to talk to you a lot about the character of an organization. So, just a little context in terms of who I am and what I am currently doing. I started my career in the windows. I was a window and exhibition designer. I am a graduate of FIT in New York, and I worked for some of the most incredible department stores in New York City and across the world, and have learned so much because of the leadership and the vision, which is the main theme of my conversation with you today. By pulling together visual merchandising, store design, and brand presentation for some of New York City's most legendary department stores, it enabled me to think outside of my box and to go into new sectors of retail. From there, in '98, I was recruited to go to Best Buy. And it was a company that was really struggling. In 1998, Best Buy had 275 stores that were doing $7 billion a year and barely making any money. In 2010, when I decided to leave, I had built a design capability from scratch. The company was over 1,400 units domestically and doing $50 billion in sales. I would argue that design thinking should be a growth engine of your company, and it should sit side by side with the CEO and the leadership teams in order to grow incremental value beyond what you do and embrace what you stand for and who you are. And if we're in retail or any business, we are in service of the customer. Today, I have the great fortune of being the chairman of the board in a different sector, which is the hospitality sector. And there are very many common universal principles that cross over many different sectors of business. And those universal principles are centered around serving the customer, knowing your customer, and building an organizational structure around the customer, because that's why we're in business. Whether it is a client of a manufacturer or the end-use consumer of a retailer or a guest in a restaurant, our business is to entertain them, to connect with them, and to win a long-lasting relationship. This is about change, this is about sustainability, and it is a marathon, it is not a sprint. So my purpose today, with all of that experience, is to work with CEOs and boards on the diversity of thought. And when we look around the table of our employees, we must ask ourselves the question, do we have all voices represented in the organization? Are we willing to challenge our own assumptions? Are we willing to change ourselves? Because as a leader, if you are not willing to change, then transformation has not got a chance in this period of reinvention in retail. So my purpose today is to bring innovation and design thinking to the boardroom and to the leadership teams of organizations, because that's where the decisions are made, that's where the strategies are birthed, and that's where we, designers, innovators, can make the most important contribution, and that is a united customer experience that starts at the very top of the organization, and it's done through the character and integrity of the organization. I believe companies that last have the number one asset, and the number one asset of a company that I believe over my 35 years in the business is integrity. Design is about sincerity. The leader must be an integral part of putting integrity at the top of the list in the organization, because integrity will invite collaboration. Design thinking. I believe design thinking and the method, it's a discipline. And that method and discipline can become the economic growth engine that unites all the channels of customer experience as one whole system. A little definition, what is design thinking? Well, it's a process, it's not a formula. It follows a logic, but it's always open to those unexpected discoveries that come from experimentation and from making connections between seemingly disconnected ideas. Visual merchandising, it was mentioned earlier, it is an art and a science. And the implementation of effective design ideas comes through visual merchandising so that it stimulates the visual appeal, it becomes the silent salesperson in the store, and it encourages ideas and imagination to be birthed within the consumer's mind. This will give you a little bit of an idea of how design thinking must progress. It is a process, it is a discipline, and it must be treated very seriously because it adds economic value, and I will get to the economics of it. But first, you have to know your audience, you have to know your customer. And that way, you can be empathetic by understanding their unmet needs. And the role of retailers, the role of anybody leading a manufacturing business is to be empathetic to the client's needs and be empathetic to your customers' needs. And if you can identify who they are, where they live, what their lifestyle is all about, you have a very good chance of defining what you're going to do within your strategy. And by defining it, you can now create ideas. Most retailers that come to me that say they want a new store model, they think I can just go in and design it. That is very presumptuous, because if we don't have this information first, there's no way that we can get to ideation, we can't get to rapid prototyping, and we can't get it to market to really learn. And that's what companies have got to do. Test and verify it. Let people play with it. Allow your employees to be the precious interface to the customer. At Best Buy, I'm just going to go through a few quick slides at Best Buy. I told you about the financials on it, but it was a warehouse store that just put goods on the floor. And it looked something like this when I was first asked to take a look at the stores in 1998. And they thought that this was going to be a good idea. Well, I can tell you the same thing that I told them, that if they did this, they were in the business of going out of business. And it was an insult to the customer. And they had the audacity to put that sign above them and say that they were designing a store with them in mind. Not true. And then they piled goods on the main aisles and defied the customers to actually shop. Biggest insult, degradation of the brand, horrible shopping experience. We took the same store, and in 3 months' time, we changed it to this. And we found that the customers loved it. Why? They could see everything. We put visual merchandising practices in play, navigational signing in play. These are the basic go-to-market strategies, the cost of doing, you have to do this. It's not a choice any longer. So from there, we saw the results of it, and it gave us the confidence to do more with it. And the store became an interface. The store became more of an experience. And we took the genies out of the boxes and put them together so that people could see what technology products could actually do for your life. It could make you more productive. It could make it more entertaining. And that's the way we sell. I grew up in the fashion business, so I understand the importance of wardrobing. And wardrobing, or storytelling, is the thing that is the gateway to higher profit and higher gross margin. In the technology business, we had to learn this quickly because the margins are so low. But when you put stories together around productivity or entertainment or watching movies with your family, people could see what things could do. And that is the gateway to increasing your business. And then it became less about the boxes. You can see this technology store within a store was all about engaging with service and playing with the gear before you buy it. Stay and play and test and try was our methodology. Then, when I left in 2010, this was the model that was rolling into the marketplace. You could see that it was easy. I could see everything from the front door. The fixture lines were brought lower. Because why? Female customers. And we had to open our arms for the female shopper. So we brought everything down to a lower eye level, which enabled us to see the entire store. Now, in Buffalo Wild Wings, we're doing the same thing. I have the good fortune to be the chairman of the board of a public company that is over $3 billion in sales. Buffalo Wild Wings was just a sports and grill bar. Today, that's what it looked like. That's what the interior was. The bar was in the back, and it was pretty basic and simple. And if they stood there, they would not be here, and I probably wouldn't be speaking to you today. But we changed it to what fans love, and it became an ultimate experience for community, for people that were passionate about watching sports, playing games. So we stopped talking about selling wings and selling beer, and we've elevated it to a higher purpose. Higher purpose is the first thing companies should do. Go beyond what they sell and think about who they are in the world and what makes them unique. This is what the store looks like today. And I guarantee you it will continue to evolve because innovation comes from the constant pursuit of iteration. And today, this is our purpose statement, to be the ultimate social experience for sports fans. Everybody that's in business can elevate themselves to a higher purpose. That brings engagement with your employees, and you know if that happens, it shows up in front of your customers. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of what I consider to be some great design thinking that have gone from invention to reinvention. And I do believe that retail today is faced with reinvention. they have all of these physical assets that now need to be redesigned. And they need to be integrated in one whole system because the customer behaves first from the palm of the hand and they go to the store if the communication strategy is worth anything. So knowing that that behavior has changed, retailers now have got to think the way the customers actually behave. And the young people today have rewritten the code on shopping behavior. And one thing is for sure, they have no loyalty. They're all about self-actualization and customization. This, I want to go back in history to the early 60s because IBM was struggling. All they sold were business machines, and they actually thought that way. And the CEO said, we have to do something different. And he reached out to one of the most instrumental designers in the history of graphics and communication in the United States. And his name was Paul Rand. Paul Rand wrote the communication vision and strategy. And I think this is very important. It shows the possibility of left brain thinking with right brain thinking. Nicola started his presentation with that quote from Einstein. Einstein got it in a big way. Even though he was a scientist, he understood the power of one's imagination and what we can do when we put all of our minds together as a whole mind. The intersection of right brain and left brain is an imperative to your strategy. And you take a look at the vision statement of IBM today, innovation that matters for our company and the world, a market cap of 200 billion plus, brand value. I can't emphasize the importance of brand equity. It goes to the bottom line. It sticks in the customer's mind, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And it can have a tremendous impact on your business and the future growth. The net sales and the net income, right to the bottom line, over $15 billion. This is as of 2014. And there's the man, the father of graphics and communication design for the corporations, some of which are witnessed here. He had a tremendous impact on the world. But if you look into the upper right-hand box, you'll see a company called Next. It was the company that Steve Jobs created after he got fired from Apple. So he thought, what am I going to do next? And it was Paul Rand that designed it. He went, he read the IBM story, and Jobs went immediately to Paul Rand. And it was Paul that set up his communication strategy that became the platform for Apple as we know it today. So Jobs was standing on the shoulders of a great design thinker. And look what that did. And this is something that I love that Paul Rand always practiced. It is about everything that we do, everything that we smell, taste, touch. The deployment of 5 senses has got to be a strategic imperative if you're in retail. And Jobs really did an incredible job and disintermediated so many industries. The market cap today is over 733 billion. That's that's pretty hefty, bigger than IBM. Design is everything. There's an emotional connection with design is really great. This has become as much of an icon as the glass pyramids in front of the Louvre. And when he was asked what he wanted to do, he said this. He didn't talk about computers, he didn't talk about products, he didn't talk about music. He said, I just want to put a ding in the universe. Big thinking, higher purpose. Now, as I close on this subject, I want to show you the power of design-centric companies. From 2003 to 2013, Motive Strategies ran a study on design-centric companies. They took 75 companies out of the Fortune 500. Some of them are here. Some of them we've already talked about. And as you can see, it's a cross-section. It's not just about retail. It's about consumer packaged goods. You can see Starbucks, Disney, And these companies went under the microscope for 10 years. And the Harvard Business Review in 2014 in April released the study by Motive. And it came up with the best in retail, the highest productivity per square foot, and that's what retailers are judged by. You can see many usual suspects. Many of these are on that design-centric list. And then you can see on the right the sales per store and how that crosses over many different sectors of retail. But here is the money slide. Design can drive shareholder return. It can add value. June of 2003 to December of 2013, measured against the Standard & Poor's Index, these design-centric companies outperformed the S&P index by 228%. If anybody ever questions any of us on the value of design, please steal this slide. And if you were an investor, in 10 years, a $10,000 investment in design-centric companies would have yielded returns of 228%. When we use our whole mind, great things happen. The intelligence quotient of great business acumen coupled with customer experience and the emotional quotient that connects us together, people to people, that's what adds the most value. And when you put them together, great things happen. And that's why I am a practitioner and a student and a believer that design plus innovation is your growth story, so that, like the Grottini family, you can perpetuate its life and hand it off to the next generation of leaders, and that's why we're all here. I want you to take these 5 questions with you because they are so vitally important for us to reinvent the customer experience. Ask ourselves why we're in business in the first place. Who do we serve? And what does the world need most that we are uniquely able to provide? What are we willing to sacrifice? Be great editors to deliver simplicity. The great Romanian sculptor Constantine Brancusi said, "Simplicity is complexity resolved." And it's up to all of us that are leaders in business to get to the essence of what our customers and our clients desire. And ask yourself the question, what matters more than money? One thing I've learned from Nicola as I see him build relationships, it's all about the building of relationships. That connection is what is the foster of great business. And most importantly, is everybody in your organization all in? Are they aligned to one common view? Are you changing your compensation models and your organizational design structures to accommodate one shared vision and reward everybody for going there together? Higher purpose. It's when we strive to go beyond what we do and go to where we are and why we are here. I'm going to close with Ralph Lauren. He said this about higher purpose. When I create a collection, I approach it with a cinematic point of view. I am not designing clothes. I am creating a world. And he said this about his role in life. I just want to sell dreams. Tesla. Elon Musk got his vision from Nikola Tesla. And Elon Musk said this about higher purpose. We are committed to the advent of sustainable transport. He's not talking about just a car. He's talking now about spaceships, any kind of transportation. That higher purpose brings people around a big idea, and you can move mountains with that. It's about leadership in the end. And the best way for us to create the future, it's not through predicting it. We have got to take ownership and create it. We are responsible for our own happiness in life, and it's up to all of us, one leader at a time, to bring together your organization around creating the next growth for your company. I am here. I'd love to be able to do that with all of you, and thank you very much for your time and attention.
Grazie per la passione e per la competenza di James. Torniamo in Europa con John Ryan. Vogliamo fare... E per ultimo torneremo negli Stati Uniti.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is something of a surprise. I thought I was going to be on last, but it appears I'm the penultimate speaker. First of all, thank you very much for staying as long as you have. Thank you very much for everybody coming along this afternoon. And I've been told I've got 10 minutes and I've got 60 slides, so I'm going to be really fast. I'm not going to tell you what matters, I'm going to tell you what is and what might be or may be. And let's see where we go from there. Let's start off by just having a look at a few shops that I think are pretty good. This one is in Paris. It's open at the moment. It's been there for about a month. It's going to be in Tokyo and it's going to be in London. And it's a bookshop. And it's a very nice bookshop. But it actually is a fashion store. It's Sonia Rykiel. And Sonia Rykiel are a designer label. And you're going to go there and look at books. They put 50,000 books in this place. Why have they done that? Because it's in an area on the left bank of Paris where people look at books and there's a literary heritage. And that very much is what this is about. It's about taking one sector, melding it with another one. And as a store that looks back on what's been in the past, it looks forward. So let's have a look at what else we might consider. This is a shop that actually isn't. This is Milano. And this was last month during the Salon di Mobile. And it looks like a department store. It looks pretty good, I think you'll agree. But actually, it doesn't exist. It's an English designer called Lee Broom. And he's there, and he's put this shop front up there to make you think that you're passing a department store. It's a complete spoof. This does not exist. So let's have a look at a shop that does. This is one that opened on Monday. It closed the day before yesterday in London, in Shoreditch, where I work. This is IKEA. IKEA are pretty good at marketing. And what they've done is they've wanted to put in a shop where you can just go and relax, take it easy, and have a 45-minute sleep. So you go with your colleagues, you go in here, and that's what you do. You go to bed with your colleagues. And what better way of getting to know your co-workers than going to bed with them for 45 minutes? Yes, this is what you could do until Wednesday. And IKEA were very nice. They would give you some of that lovely Swedish IKEA food, and you could eat that while you were in bed for 45 minutes at lunchtime, which is where these ladies, who I took a photograph of, who were very happy that I took a photograph, as you can see. And this is what the rest of them were doing. And here's a shop that looks forward. This is Selfridges in London. And this is the Apple store. Interesting, actually, just referencing what James was talking about. Apple are pretty good at what they do, and you'd think that if you were going to launch your iWatch, you'd do it in one of those very nice stores that James was showing us. But oh no, they decided they put it in Selfridges, because they decided, actually, if you want to make something different, put it in an unfamiliar context. That's exactly what they did. So they've taken a little snap of the future, and they've put it into the middle of Selfridges. Okay. Here's the three themes. Online goes offline. We've heard about that this afternoon from Ulrich. The road to digital, well, it's sort of the jury's in, the jury's maybe out, and the end of the space race. I'll deal with all three. Let's look at Boohoo first. Boohoo's in New York. It was over Christmas. It's an online retailer. It's fashion, it's discount, and it's also physical. They decided that they opened the store over the holiday period, and it wasn't bad. They got bloggers in there, they got stylists, and people were queuing out the door just to be styled and maybe buy a little bit. And this is what it looked like inside. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't bad. And the fact that they'd made an event and taken something that was just existing virtually and made a physical entity of it, made it interesting. And here you can see it's more like a fashion studio actually than it is any kind of shop. But downstairs, there's the stuff that you buy. So let's have a look at the road to digital. We were talking about iBeacons earlier, and Ulrich was saying he was not convinced about it entirely. I tend to agree. This is a shop in Carnaby Street in London. It's quite nice. And you go in and there's not very much merchandise, but there's a shed load of screens. There's a load of screens in there. And behind each panel on the wall, there is an iBeacon. These are not to send out tedious messages to your phones. Nobody really wants that because that's called spam. Actually, what you want is to use those beacons to clock where people are going in the shop. And the iBeacons register, as people move around the space, where the hotspots are. And they re-merchandise this shop. And they have things like a digital mannequin here. As you go to one of those pods in the middle and browse the range, you find the pair of boots that you like, and suddenly Klaus there is wearing those boots that you've just selected. Klaus, by the way, is about that high, but he looks massive in the store. Okay, let's move on. Let's see if we can get this to go. So perhaps if iBeacons aren't the answer, maybe good old-fashioned signage is. Who knows? We're not actually clear. We are in a period of flux, and nothing is certain at the moment. The road forward is pretty unclear. But what you've got to say is that the most digitally enabled retailers are frequently those that don't appear to be so. So here's Crew. This is in Belgium. This has been open about a month and a half, and it's very nice. It looks like a farmer's market, and everything in here is bought in every day. And when you look at it, there's people enjoying fresh food, and you think, what has this got to do with digital? Well, let me tell you what it's got to do with digital. Everybody walking into this shop is given a tablet, and with that tablet, they can go around and scan things, find out about the provenance of the products they're looking at. They can keep tally on how much they're going to spend, and. So it's about taking the traditional and melding it with future technology. That's kind of what we were talking about, and that's what Ulrich was talking about earlier. Forgive me if I'm talking far too fast for the translators here. I can see them really working overtime. Okay, we move on to John Lewis. This is in London. They actually are one of the most, they're in the vanguard of technology, if you like. And what they've done is they have adopted a magazine-like approach to retailing. So they take things, they curate. We were just hearing James talking about curation. They curate, they create, and at the same time, they give the opportunity to look at something in store and browse it online. And they are a total integrated organization. And they put this sort of magazine approach in the middle of a store as displays. It's simple stuff, not difficult, but they make it work, and the results are pretty impressive at the moment. Service, of course, can just mean digital. So here we are. We've talked about the expo this afternoon. This is the expo in Milan at the moment. Coop Italia has worked pretty successfully with a couple of people, and they've created this space. And it's a store. You can go in there at the moment. There's 1,500 items that you can buy, and there are digital mirrors above each of the aisles here. And in those aisles, you can just check out where the stuff's made, how painfully or painlessly the animals involved were killed, and then you can actually have a look through the space. And it feels nice, it feels clean, it gives you information, but it's taking a very, very traditional approach and making it rather more interesting than you might expect it to be. So, okay, we'll move on from there. And this is me. Here's something you might want to do. If you get to London in the next month or so, go downstairs. And there's two young men in there, and they've got a little booth, and they'll point a couple of cameras at you and a computer, and they'll do a 3D scan of you. And this one flatters me, obviously. It's far better looking than the product. But what they then do, and here's the win-win, is they take that file and they 3D print you and turn you into a lollipop. That takes 45 minutes. And the thing about this is, in that 45 minutes, you're not going to hang around in that shop. You're bored, so you're going to go shop the rest of Selfridges. So Selfridges win. The guys who are producing the lollipops win, because maybe they sell one of those lollipops at £25. That's about 32 euros. Quite a lot of money for a lollipop. And you walk away with a vision of yourself that you can lick. It doesn't get better than that. It's almost as good as going to bed with your colleagues. Okay, and here's the finished article. There she is on the right. That's a head on a stick. And it's in a good way. So let's move on from there, shall we? The shop was, and will remain the star and base for shoppers, for sure. The space race is over, so I'm going to take you through a very quick gallop of some stores which work as shop-in-shops, because one of the things that you do see a lot at the moment is host shops. This is Tesco. It's the world's third largest retailer after Carrefour and Walmart. But this is Prague, and this is Letňany. And in Letniani, it's a big, big mall. And it's an F&F shop. That's their clothing brand. And it looks for all the world, somebody coming down there, it looks for all the world like a standalone fashion shop, but it's not. It's part of a supermarket. And this is what you see when you look in through the window. And they put homewares in there as well. But they make it feel like a homeware shop, not a supermarket. It's about lifestyle retailing. And I know people have talked about lifestyle retailing till the cows come home, but it remains pretty important. And here's the smart thing. They've got a premium range in Tesco called Tesco Finest. They've taken out every single piece of Tesco Finest and put it in the middle of the mall. And in that way, they're raising their profile, making people think we are more than just a basic supermarket. We actually do things pretty special as well. And just to prove to you that it is a supermarket, they're not bad at that either. So I'll take you to Habitat. Habitat's a store. It was a store. It went bust in the UK. It got bought by a DIY outfit called Homebase. Homebase is where you go to die. It's quite boring. On the other hand, when you get in there, you've got this. It's around about 2,500 square meters they've given. And the problem that big stores have at the moment is what to do with all of their space. And one thing you can do is give it to another retailer. So they've done this with it, and it looks for all the world like a designed space. It doesn't feel entirely like a DIY store. So you're not going to go in here to buy hammers and screws and all that sort of thing. You'll go in there to buy yourself a nicely designed rug or a piece of furniture or something along those lines. And I'll take you finally in these shop-in-shop things to Urban Outfitters. Our American guests know all about Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters is around Europe these days. It's gradually spreading the word. And they've just launched a beauty range. And they put beauty. Well, everybody knows that if you want beauty products these days, it's got to be organic. So why not put it in a greenhouse? Because it gives people the idea that it's green, that it's healthy, it's not going to bring you out in nasty spots, all those sort of things. So they put their beauty products in a shop-in-shop in the middle of the store. There we go. And now I'll take you through that experience. I'll just quickly show you the Sonia Vecchio shot that I showed you initially, and I'll show you a few more shots because we were hearing about experience during the whole of the afternoon. Experience is the one thing that will win you customers. This is what it looks like inside. Here you go. Pretty nice clothes, but a load of books. And here's the thing. You can actually buy the books if you want to. So it's not just about selling clothes. They do pay lip service, or maybe touch their forelock, as far as selling books are concerned as well. And this is a relationship that has been established between a publisher and a fashion merchant. So two completely discrete and separate organizations have worked together to produce something that's a hybrid, but is completely different from what you might normally expect in retail. Here's some more shots of it. It's pretty nice, really. And this I like. This is around the corner from where I work. There are two of them in Brooklyn. This is the Mars Brothers. This is where you go to spend £8. That's 11 euros on a small bar of chocolate. I don't know how they do it for the price. But what they do is they make the chocolate in front of you. This is about experience. This is an area of London called Hoxton. It's where all the hipsters are, the guys with the big beards and the trousers that are too short for them and a bit too tight. They're all there. They're all making the chocolate for you. And there they are at the back. You can see them with their caps on and the beards. They're making the chocolate, probably having a chat, but there's the chocolate in front of you. And that's what you buy, and it's just opened in London. So if you're over in London and you have 11 euros to spend on a small bar of chocolate, step this way, please. And they actually serve coffee. Of course they serve coffee, because at the moment in retail, when in doubt, give them some coffee. And if you're still in doubt, make it expensive coffee and make it filtered and drip over and all the rest of it, and things will be pretty good for you. And finally, something that combines all of the things I've been talking about. I've got through 58 slides, by the way, guys. I've done it probably in 15 minutes. So here we are. This is Decathlon. They're a French outfit. This is in London. They're normally massive. They've decided that they will take technology, shrink their store to a place that's in an underground station, and they'll make an experience of it. So they have a different sport every day. This is where you can go along, get beaten up by your colleagues, and pay for it. Ladies and gentlemen, everything's in place. Nothing will be as we expect. Thank you very much for your time.
Joe Baer, next and final. Thank you, John.
Grazie, Nicola. Ciao. ready? Okay, very good. So, first, I need everybody to stand up. Please stand up, everybody. Except the cameraman, you can sit down for a minute if you'd like. Everybody else stand up. Very good, thank you, even in the back row. Now I just need you to turn around and look at the back wall. Yes, turn around, everybody turn around, look at the back wall. Yes, even you don't want to, but please turn around. All right, very good. And now you can come back. Thank you. See, this helps me. I get nervous talking in front of people, but if I visualize you in your underwear, I get more comfortable. So, thank you. Boxers, briefs, Vinny a thong? Really? No, okay. Thank you, you may sit. So, I'm here to talk about the art and the future of visual merchandising. And mi chiamo Baer. I'm a visual guru, I am a CEO, and I am a creative director. And those are just 3 of the many hats that I wear in developing my company, Zen Genius Visual Merchandising. Very excited about Zen Genius. We specialize in visual merchandising and we're celebrating our 16th anniversary this year. I'm also very excited because I am branching out and doing a joint venture with Valerio called Visual Merchandising Experts, bringing retail analytics and visual merchandising together. So, grazie, thank you to the Grottini family for allowing me to be here. Thank you to the university for allowing us to do this today. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm coming all the way from Ohio. Has anybody ever heard of Ohio? Yeah, okay, a couple. Good, Massimo, very good. Thank you, thank you. It's great to be here. I do feel connected, though, because my office is located in Italian Village. So I feel like I have a camaraderie with everybody in Italy now. My office is a small, little, humble office, but it's in a wonderful neighborhood. The Italian Village is in a neighborhood called the Short North. Short North is wonderful, and I wrote a book about it last year called The Art of Visual Merchandising, Short North. In our world full of big box retailers and big box retail, I wanted to celebrate some of the small people, some of these entrepreneurs that are passionate about retail, passionate about shopping, and they only have one store, one unique store that they get to pour their heart into, that they get to create an experience, and that many of the big box retailers are trying to emulate what some of these folks have done. So it's good. In the book, I interview the stores. There's lots of photos of the great stores that are in there. And I also added a little interactive feature. I better not come that close over there. An interactive feature, you can see the box down in the bottom. Just like Harry Potter, I wanted my pictures to come to life. So using an app called Erasma, you can hold your phone up to the photo in the book, and it'll take you to a live video link of myself interviewing the store owners.
Boutique, as you already know, one of the favorite boutiques here in the Short North. And I'm here with Marin Ra, the owner, proprietor.
So,
I think
again, it's been a way to even change the way we read, the way we use books, and the way we use magazines. So I'm excited about that. And at Zen Genius, I want to take these philosophies, these innovations, these new ways of thinking to our clients. We already support a wide range of clients. Victoria's Secret, I'm always proud of the work that we do with them. You know, basically we're selling underwear, right? That's what we're selling. Lingerie, intimate apparel. But our team gets to work with their team and bring their visions and their ideas to life. How do we make shopping for lingerie and intimate apparel exciting? How do we make an underwear company or a lingerie company the best known lingerie company in the world? By making it exciting. We are artists at heart. My team is artists. I'm an artist. And we work to create exciting installations in the store, building giant hatbox Christmas trees. And your product is our art. We start with the product that you have, and we're inspired by it. And we'll build great props like a twig chandelier that goes into the presentation. Or we create amazing wings to simplify the angels that Victoria's Secret has. And we create rings out of wings out of ribbons that then make the store shopping experience more exciting. I also work with companies like Bath & Body Works, small products that the store changes. Every 3 months, there's a new focus, there's a new feature. Every 3 months, there's something new to shop and experience in the store. Whether it's a new product launch, a sale, a promotion, whatever it is. Our team is there working with their team in a mock store where we test everything and work it out before it gets rolled out to 1,000 stores. We work out all those details, and then we roll it out to all the stores. I'm also proud that I've worked with HMS Host. They've been my longest client. I've had them for 16 years. They're also connected to Autogrill, which is an Italian company. So it's nice to see those roots. I helped them open all of their stores in airports across the country, retail stores, as well as convenient food stores, and really new travel marts, and they're changing the way that we shop in the travel world. That industry has changed. Even this industry is changing. The cell phone stores. This is the Verizon store. We worked on helping to open up 6 new Verizon lifestyle stores last year. Would you expect to see mannequins in a cell phone store? Would you expect to see lifestyling or interactive activities? You can jump on a treadmill in the store. It engages you in the experience when you're doing something as simple as shopping for a phone. I'm also proud that we work with Chico's, a fashion brand based out of Florida, and we help them, again, come up with the ideas for their windows that then get rolled out to 1,000 stores. And one of my favorite projects was working with a company called Peeps & Co. Does anybody know Peeps? Have you ever heard of them? Yes, of course you do. So Peeps are these cute little marshmallow candies, very popular at Easter. And the brand wanted to open up their very first store at National Mall of America. And so we helped them to visualize and merchandise the store and bring it to life. And one year they challenged me during the holidays. They said, we want to create something amazing, something unexpected that's going to draw attention, that's going to make it fun for our customers to shop. So we built a 20-foot Christmas tree covered in marshmallow Peeps. Over 6,000 marshmallow Peeps were used on this Christmas tree. I only ate 3. They were good, but that's not bad. And they made it a contest. Guess how many Peeps are on the tree? Customers had to write an entry form in, take it to the store. They generated 50,000 entries, which generated, what is that, 100,000 extra feet walking into the store? So it was a great example of doing something good. We also work with all types of product, furniture. What can we do with furniture to make the shopping experience? For the holiday, they wanted to create windows that celebrated furniture and traditional windows for the holidays. And then also last year, we worked with a company called CNA out of Mexico. Mexico is going through an interesting phase. The trade laws changed, and now non-Mexican retailers were allowed to open up in Mexico, which changed the playing game altogether. They hired us to come in and work, evaluate, and help to elevate their visual merchandising program. When I went and I started to meet with them, what I realized is the visual merchandising team was just above the housekeeping team in the hierarchy of how the store worked. Our goal was to elevate visual merchandising and make it an important part of the executive team. Visual merchandisers must work with the buyers, the planners, the store designers. All of that comes together to make an exciting experience. We also do some trade show exhibits that gets into visual merchandising, something a little exciting. This was a tea booth we created for a company out of Macedonia. And then visual merchandising is also about special events, grand opening parties, ribbon cutting ceremonies. Every time you have a new store, that's a celebration. Have a party, do something fun. And that falls into my world of visual merchandising at Zengenius also. I also like to inspire people. A lot of people don't know that visual merchandising is a career opportunity. So at the International Retail Design Conference, I created a session called the Iron Merchant Challenge. And I got executives to team up in 5 different teams, roll up their sleeves, and get to work. And in 1 hour, I challenged them to create a display Yes, 1 hour usually, Marjorie. I know sometimes it's less. I challenge them to create a display and incorporate a secret ingredient. And then we all get together and vote for our favorite display. It's a great way to involve some of these executives that usually sitting behind a desk to get out, learn how to use a hot gun, hot glue gun, learn how to use some scissors. But it's also been very inspiring, educating, and I believe it's also raised visual merchandising within the retail design industry. I also love to train and teach people about visual merchandising and how exciting it is. Teach students about the possibilities of this is a great career. So,
hi, I'm Joe
if
from
you visit,
Genius. Today I'm going to talk about some of the basics of visual
I mounted myself
Just
to
like
the
in
ceiling to give this training presentation. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why it's upside down. But if you visit YouTube, I have a visual merchandising training session on there that has over 16,000 views now, just teaching people about the basics of visual merchandising. So it's very good. I'm proud of what I've developed at ZenGenius. It's been an exciting run. I look at you as an example and an emulator. I hope to make it to 40 years myself. That would be fantastic. So I'm proud to be a visual merchandiser, and I am happy to share my passion with you today. You can tell I am passionate about visual merchandising, right? It's a gift that I was given. I don't know why I got this gift of visual merchandising, but I feel compelled to use it, to do something, to make a difference in the world. Visual merchandisers, as I said, are artists at heart, and I want to make visual merchandising an art. Thank you guys for saying that visual merchandising, James, you said the art and science. It is an art. Art is exciting. Art is meant to be irreverent, right? It's meant to be fun. It's meant to combine our imagination with creativity and now technical skills and technology. The art world is changing and it's influencing us, whether it's painting or visual media or printmaking, illustrations, sculpture. All of these things come together, photography, and are used in visual merchandising. Art helps us to celebrate visual arts. We celebrate the performing arts. Retail is theater. Bring the theater into the store to make it exciting with live action, motion, movement. The culinary arts, as we're talking about food and how important food is. Food is an art, as we experience and we get to enjoy here in Italy. And also the literary arts, inspired by a poem, inspired by a quote, or a passage, or a book. All of those things in arts come in playing to visual merchandising as we celebrate life. That's what we're doing. Do you know when you shop, you're celebrating life, right? You're buying a gift for your wife for the anniversary. You're buying food for your family to go home and make dinner tonight, right? Maybe you're buying aspirin for your child who has a headache and you want to help them. So, shopping is celebrating life, and that's what we want to do. It's an art. And art provokes. It shocks us sometimes. We like to be shocked every once in a while. It engages us. It makes us think. It makes us act. It makes us get involved. And it inspires us. When you see something art that's beautiful, you feel inspired. You want to recreate it. You want to experience it. And art inspires visual merchandising. Every day, I'm out there in the world. If I go to a museum or something, I see something. I want to bring that into the retail world. I want to look for those cues that I can bring in. Visual, out of visual merchandising, is about the things we see. I want to divide visual and merchandising. Visual is the things we see with our eyes, the things that we're attracted to, the things that we like. It engages us, right? The things we buy, that gift that you need. It's the things we like that we see when we're walking through a mall or walking through a store? I like that. And it's also the things we don't like. I don't like that. It's the things we want. Oh, I want that. I gotta have that. I need that shirt. I need that Tesla car. I need that. I want that. And it's also the things that we don't want. It's how our eyes work, and it's what our eyes tell our brain. We use color, art, humor, sculpture, design, theater, shock, graphics, technology, style, motion, and light. All of these things come together. I wear a lot of hats as a visual merchandiser. When you think of all these things and how they come together to make visual merchandising an exciting opportunity for all of our stores. We want to celebrate. With visual merchandising, what we are celebrating is the product. Every product in your store should be celebrated. If it's there, if you're selling it, you have to believe in it. It's the brand that we want to celebrate. And it's the promotion, the deal, the bargain. We still like a bargain. In 2020, we're going to love a bargain even more. Bargains are exciting. And it's the experience that we want to celebrate. The experience of shopping for the things we like and the things we want. And hopefully the things we will buy, right? Because that's what it comes down to. Visual merchandising. Let's talk about merchandising for a little bit. Visual is what we see, the creativity, the attraction. Merchandising is how we organize it. How we organize the product in your store to make it easy to shop, to make it special when you're shopping for something. It's visual merchandising that helps to elevate the experience in the product. Visual merchandising, by the way we touch the products, by the way we treat them, the way we display them and sign them and all those great things, helps to elevate the perceived value of a product. Do you have Walmart here? No? What's your Walmart? How much, what is it, Culp? Culp. How much would you pay for a t-shirt at Culp? 30 euro? 10 euro, yes, that's about Walmart also, 10 bucks. If you're shopping at Neiman Marcus, how much are you gonna pay for a t-shirt? $200, right? 30 compared to 200. That product might even be made at the same place nowadays. We don't know. But the way you treat it elevates the perceived value and elevates the shopping experience. And that's what we're trying to do. Make shopping fun again. Make it exciting again. Elevate that experience. Make it fun. Yes, fun even when we're shopping for underwear. Underwear shopping can be fun. It can be. It's great. We also want to drive sales. People say visual merchandisers are going to come in and we're the people that are going to make your store look pretty. That's great. But what I really want to do is I want to drive this. More of this. That's not enough. I want more. Yes, maybe they don't connect to this. Let's show it in euro. I want more of that. I want to double it. I want to triple your sales. That's what I want to do with visual merchandising. Yes, I want it to be pretty, but I want it to be effective, and I want it to help put money in your pocket. Is that good? You like a little money in your pocket? Would you like money in your pocket? Yes, okay, good. So what's up? What's the future of visual merchandising? What's the big question? Are we going to have stores? In 2020, are we still going to be shopping? Are we going to the mall? What do you think? Are we? Will we still have stores? Yes, we will. And with things like visual merchandising experts, we're going to understand how to make the shopping experience more effective, more valuable, by learning about analytics. Are my windows attracting attention? Is my display working? Am I being effective? This is the knowledge that you talked about. New knowledge to make us smarter, to make us do things better. New technologies to help us expand. I get as much excitement buying something online and seeing it arrive in my house as I do when I go to the store and buy it. Those technologies are merging and they're coming together. Technology is a part of the shopping experience. It helps us to understand what the consumer wants. Analytics will help us measure the attraction rate. Are the customers looking? If they're looking, are they coming into the store? Where are they going in the store? What are they touching? What are they buying? And what are they not buying? Shopper analytics will help us to understand attraction rate, attention rate, and action. Action to get them to buy. So, change is inevitable. That's the one thing that's been constant through all of these years. 40 years with Grottini. Have you ever changed? You're changing constantly, right? We're changing. The next 5 years, we're going to continue to change the way our stores are. We have new tools that are helping us to support more creative endeavors. We have new tools that are helping to support visual merchandising as a career, as a great tool in our stores. Creativity helps us to expand our potential. That's what we want to do. Expand the potential of retail over the next 5 years. To experiment, to try new things, and measure those things so that we know if they're effective, so that we know we're doing the right thing. It's time to celebrate technology, right? You agree with that. We're at the university for celebrating technology. Celebrate the arts, celebrate shopping, and like I said, celebrate life. Because shopping is a part of our life. We do it every single day. How many of you bought something already today? Well, okay, you've been sitting here all day. How many of you are going to buy something after you leave, maybe? Okay, good, good. Remember life? That F, it's supposed to be fun. Fun when we're shopping for underwear, right? It could even be fun if you're shopping in your underwear, right? Normally we shop in our underwear when we're at home, on our phone or on our computer. But if you get out in the world and you want to shop in your underwear, you are welcome. We're creating a space for you. The future of visual merchandising is bright. It's exciting. 2020, wow, the future. You know what? It's only 5 years away. That's not that far. I can think that far in advance. 5 years, 2020. It's not that far away at all. The future is now, and here we come. Are you guys ready? Are you with me? Students in the room, are you ready to change the future of shopping? Yes. Any students left in the room? Are you going to change shopping? Okay. It's time. Grazie tante. Thank you very much.
Joe è come negli spettacoli con i fuochi d'artificio, questo era il gran finale. Comunque noi vogliamo ringraziare, io direi che a questo punto chiederei a Francesco insieme a me di alzarsi e ringraziare chi ci ha aiutato a organizzare e a presentare questi temi, ringraziare voi che siete venuti e i nostri clienti. Per dirla con Joe, vogliamo divertirci lavorando e vogliamo allargare queste conoscenze con chiunque partecipa alla nostra vita quotidiana nell'azienda, ma anche oltre. Di nuovo grazie e buon rientro.
The future of retail, here we go.